Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Al-Mawlid al-Nabawi, the birthday of Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As a Muslim, what should I do? What is the proper celebration of such a great day? And what do I need to do? What am I obligated to do as a Muslim? We will take a look at the historical events, what we should do as Muslims, and what is the ruling of celebrating Mawlid in Islam in this quick video. Historically, Muslims did not celebrate the birthday of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in the first 400 to 600 years after Prophet Muhammad ﷺ death. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, we don't have any hadith or any saying that he encouraged us or mentioned that we should celebrate this day after he leaves this dunya. And all his companions, starting with Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Umar, Uthman, and then Ali radiyallahu anhum, all of them never celebrated the Mawlid, and all the companions after them, and even the second generation after them, what we call it Tabi'een, the followers of the Sahaba, none of them celebrated the Mawlid of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And the first time it's confirmed that any Muslims celebrated the Prophet's birthday was 600 years after Prophet Muhammad ﷺ death. It's funny that I was searching this up, and on an authenticated website that is pro-celebrating the Mawlid, they were saying that, oh, it's wrong that Muslims did not celebrate it till 600 years. They did celebrate it only 300 years after Prophet's death. So just something to think about, that this was never celebrated till, let's say, according to that website, 300 years after Prophet's death. And some other websites also supporting and encouraging celebrating such day, they're saying that some of the Sahaba remember the Prophet ﷺ when they were eating dinner together, they gathered and they ate a goat on a Friday. And we know that his birthday was on a Monday, but regardless, so they're kind of saying because the Sahaba had a goat dinner together on a Friday on their weekend, so we can celebrate the Mawlid in such a way. Just, you need to know, historically, Sahaba of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the second and third generation of the Sahaba, they never celebrated, none of them in any Muslim country as a community or as individuals celebrated the Mawlid. The first time confirmed the celebration of the Mawlid was at least anywhere between 400 to 600 years, and mostly it's 600 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. That's the Dawla al-Fatimiyya in Egypt. Aside from the historical base of the Mawlid, what is the ruling of celebrating Mawlid in Islam? According to the vast majority, maybe all of the scholars in the four main madhabs of the Sunnah, they consider celebrating the Mawlid anywhere between forbidden, haram, till it's not encouraged, it's a makruh. Do not engage in such celebration, and by doing so, you're not doing the right worshipping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you're not supposed to celebrate such day. That day, you're doing something Prophet did not ask us to do. That is the definition of bid'ah. You're creating something new, a heresy, in a sin that will be counted the opposite of what you want. The intention is you're doing something good, but it's a bid'ah. And the people who are saying this is a bid'ah hasana, the good innovation in Islam, we tell them that, first of all, many scholars don't consider anything that can be a bid'ah hasana, a good invention. And second, the scholars who think there is something called bid'ah hasana, it has to have some base in Islam. For example, by making a wire transfer of $50 every day for the rest of your life. Prophet ﷺ did not do that because there was no such easy way to donate that money, but donating money, charity, all that has base in Islam, in the Sharia, and just doing it in a innovative way might be okay. That's what we call a bid'ah hasana. Or by, for example, Prophet ﷺ told us to do a lot of tasbih and adhkar. So someone is encouraging the classroom to always do adhkar while they're riding the bus, for example. So that's kind of might be acceptable to be a bid'ah hasana. But innovating a day and coming up with a holiday and a day that Muslims celebrate aside from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that you're Muslims, you have two Eids, and those Eids are very specific in timing. They must be in the first of Shawwal and the 10th of the Hijjah, the first of the 10th month and the 10th of the 12th month of the Arabic lunar calendar. So we say, no, we want this day because it's important day, it's the birthday of Prophet Muhammed SA, that we're changing, we're doing the opposite of what Allah commanded us through Prophet Muhammad SAW, and we're doing it in the name of the love of Prophet Muhammad SAW. So it's a hearsay, it's a bid'ah, it's something that we're doing the opposite of what Allah and Prophet Muhammad SAW commanded us to do. And to the mass majority of the scholars, at least of the four Sunni madhab, it is anywhere between makruh to haram. It's not encouraged to do it till it's haram to do it. And do not call yourself a Hanafi or a Shafi'i or a Maliki or a Hanbali. If you celebrate this day, you might be celebrating it, but that's not allowed in any of those four madhabs. An argument that on the Mawlid we celebrate it by going to the masjid, that's a good deed. We listen to nice lectures, we do so and so, and it depends on the things that you do on that day. It's not the day by itself. So the answer to that, if you want to listen to lectures, if you want to study the seerah of Prophet Muhammad SAW, if you want to talk about the great doings of Prophet Muhammad SAW, why doing it on that day specifically? Second, you need to be aware of the next generation. They will consider this a holiday and they will look at it like it's something that we're waiting for. I had this discussion last year with a parent. He told me this is the most important day in the year to him and to his family and to his children, and he attends that day and he takes it off. So what is his children going to do when they grow up? They will consider this is the major holiday for Muslims, and they might give it more priority over the Eid of Al-Fitr or Eid Al-Adha. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, yes, there is good things happen on this day. You go to the masajid and you listen to nice lectures. It used to be that they say nasheed. Now, in the last couple of years, they're saying that songs. So music is involved. And some of the doings there is haram by itself. Some chants are not allowed in the way that it happened, and even the words in it. Some songs, there is plenty of instruments, and the music by itself can be problematic. And there is more than that. Some people consider this is the cake of Prophet Muhammad SAW. This is the sweet that is holy because it's named after Prophet Muhammad SAW. And then they cut the cake. I was told 4 or 5 years ago there was celebration, and one sister was mad because she did not get a piece of the holy cake that is named after Prophet Muhammad SAW. And they are aware of the crumbs of the cake because this is kind of a holy crumb. There is no holy crumb, there is no cake for Prophet Muhammad SAW. There is cultural things. Each Arabic or Muslim country, they came up with a sweet that they celebrate on that day, but to make that relative or relevant, I should say, to Prophet Muhammad SAW, there is no relevance at all there, and you should not be connecting that cake or that sweet or that dessert to Prophet Muhammad SAW. Forget those 3 points. The fourth, the last, and the main point of the doings that could happen on that day, it touched the core of who the Muslim is. Muslim believe in Islam. Islam is a religion built on being modest, in the core of our religion, it's a religion of modesty. That means you cannot go all the way to be materialistic like some other religions, or you cannot be only spiritual like some other religions. So do not fall for any of these two. Instead, Islam is in the middle. If you think of this day as a holy and you consider it a holiday and you celebrate it and it's a big deal for you, you need to revise your doings and think about, okay, what did the Prophet Muhammad ask me to do? I ignore half of what he told me, if not all, and then I celebrate his birthday in that way. I am astray of the core of Islam being modest and not to convert the religious doings by spiritual doings and feel fulfilled spiritually about it. So that is the main thing, that you are drifting from the core of how Islam is a modest religion by its nature. Another argument some people might say, that in some Muslim countries they celebrate the National Day, the Independence Day. They might even celebrate the birthday of the president or the king or the ruler of the country. So do we celebrate the birthday of the ruler and not celebrate the birthday of the best of humans, the Prophet Muhammad SAW? Out of love, we should celebrate that. Or some people will tell you that we live in a Western country, and in Europe or in the US here, that they celebrate the Christmas. So do we celebrate the Christmas? Or someone expressed this a couple of years ago. He said that I feel bad that I am able to tell my neighbors happy holidays and Merry Christmas, but I don't have Muslim neighbors that I can celebrate the Mawlid with them. This was a tweet for a famous Muslim person. So to that we counter that argument by, first of all, I'm not getting in the allowance if it's allowed or not to celebrate such holidays. That's a topic for another day. But celebrating the non-religious holidays, keep it non-religious. If you're celebrating the Independence, the Memorial Day, the Labor Day, nobody will mix that with religion. You might have a grill on the Labor Day or on the so-and-so day. You're not really celebrating religiously, but you are enjoying a holiday, enjoying a day off, or remembering something happened on that day, which might be fine. In all cases, celebrating a non-religious holiday falls under different category than celebrating religious holidays. As I explained previously, Muslims have two religious holidays, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So don't mix them with the non-religious holidays. But Prophet Muhammad SAW and celebrating his birthday and coming with things to be done in that day as a good deed, as worshipping to Allah, that is not mentioned in the Quran or in the Sunnah at all, never happened for many hundreds of years. And regarding the non-Muslim holidays, I do trick or treating, but should I not celebrate the Prophet Muhammad SAW? When you do trick or treating, again, regardless if that is the right doing on that non-Islamic holiday, you are participating in a cultural thing and you're just having fun. If you're asking your kids why we're doing trick or treating, it's fun, it's for the candy, it's so and so. But teaching them that on a Mawlid you celebrate, you're doing those chants, that is mixing the ibadah with the culture. And the last thing I want to tell you, that it is also core in Islam that you're not allowed to do ibadah except the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to do ibadah. We cannot change the number of rak'at. We cannot do any even sunnah. Forget the core of the fard. The sunnah of Prophet Muhammad SAW. If he told us to pray 2 rak'ah of sunnah, that's just 2. You cannot do 1, you cannot do 3. If he says do 33 times subhanallah after salah, so you better do 33. Not less, not more. So ibadah, everything is specific in Islam and not flexible like some people like to do. Another argument, I feel good. I feel spiritually fulfilled when I attend the Mawlid. I attended this Mawlid and I was crying from happiness. So it cannot be wrong because I feel good about it. My intention is good. So those people who say this argument, we tell them the way you feel has nothing to do with if it's right or wrong, if it's allowed or prohibited. What if I pray Asr 6 rak'at and I feel spiritually fulfilled? Prophet ﷺ told us that you can pray only 4 rak'at of Asr, and then if you want more, there is specific times and specific ways that you can do extra salah. But just because I feel good about something, I could feel good about watching a soccer game or even doing something even less than that, but out of my respect and love to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, I don't want to mention those things even. And speaking of the love of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, let's say we're just doing this for the love of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. How do we love and show that love to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? Which again, some people might argue that it is in the core of who we are as Muslims and what we believe as Muslims. So we tell those people, of course you should love Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and all of us as Muslims and some non-Muslims convert to Islam because of their love to the character and the manners of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And for those people we say, if you love Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, practice the Quran, who told us to follow Allah and follow Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in many occasions where it says أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول, obey Allah and obey His Prophet. Don't celebrate and make up a day to celebrate His birthday or cut the cake or eat the dessert on His birthday or chant together. But Prophet ﷺ showed us how to celebrate Him and His doings and His teachings by what we need to do. Unlike other religions, Islam is in everything that you do every day. When you wake up, there is a dua. When you go to bed, there is a dua. And in between those, there is dua for everything. When you eat, you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. When you get in the car, you say the dua for riding, and so on. We ignore all these things. Nowadays, we challenge everything. I've been teaching Islam for many years, and in the past 15 years, every year, parents are challenging everything in Islam. Some parents challenge the salah itself, saying, why? And you can be a good Muslim without praying. I'm not aware of that, but they're arguing that. Some Muslims argued with me that don't let my kids memorize Quran. Why do we need to memorize the Quran, the book of Allah? But when it comes to something that is new, that is totally made up, let's celebrate. It's out of love. So Prophet ﷺ taught us how to do every day and in every occasion. And if you love Him, follow His teachings, obey His commandment, and trace His footsteps in the way that He did. Prophet ﷺ never lied. Never once in his life lied. Before he was a prophet, after he became prophet. Oh, we lie every day. Prophet ﷺ told us that we must pray in the masjid, not at home. He was asked by a companion that I cannot see, I'm blind, and I want to pray the Fajr only at home. He said yes, and then the Wahi, Jibreel came to him and said, no, you must go to the masjid. But we ignore all that the Prophet ﷺ did, and then out of our love to him, we want to celebrate by specifying one day that is his birthday, and we go have a good meal, eat a lot of dessert, feel spiritually fulfilled, and after that day we go back doing what we were doing before that, and again ignoring all Prophet's teachings behind our back, and we say we do that out of the love of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. I encourage you to stop doing that and to start doing the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Out of the love of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, you trace his sunnah. Try to achieve what he asked us to do. What did he want us to do in this dunya, and how to connect this always to al-akhirah, and to follow the sunnah, and to be among the good Muslims, and to avoid the bid'ah, and encourage you all not to participate in the Mawlid. Do not celebrate it. Do not consider that a religious holiday. if you go to a masjid or you participate in such occasion, I want you to be aware. I'm not going to tell you that this is haram or something. Look it up and do what your heart feels comfortable with. But I'll tell you confidently that this is not a religious thing, and you're not worshipping Allah by doing so on that night, and you might be better not doing it. That's the least that I can leave you with. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all to the right path. Ameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.